All right, we're good to go.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. We are here for the Kingsburg Downtown Business Improvement District Advisory Board meeting. Today is February 2nd, so it's 2/2/22. We're going to call to order at 8:03. Attendance, Chairperson Carpenter, Reggie Gerke, Lauren Cooper, Amanda Roscoe, June Hess. Mr. Sargent is unable to attend this morning. I believe Paula will be thrown in. Okay. So are we open public comment? And are we on phone this morning too?
The phone is done, yeah,
personal,
so
in person only?
in person only.
Okay, so we're open to public comment, if anyone has any at this time. Hearing none, we'll close item number 2 and move on to item number 3. Approve the minutes from the 1/5/2022 meetings as presented by City Clerk Abigail Colcard.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
A vote.
A vote. All those in favor of approving minutes?
Aye.
Any against? Okay, approved. Moving on to item number 4, review photographer proposal, possible action. So I read these last night. I'm sure everybody went through them. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 companies submit proposals. Did everyone have a chance to go through them? Thoughts? We have one company, two individuals in attendance this morning, correct? Yes. Thank you. I assume you folks are image masters? From Fresno. And Miss, your name?
Elijah, or Ally.
Ally?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you both for coming this morning. Open up for thoughts.
Give a breakdown.
Yeah, I went through and I did a quick breakdown, company by company. The first one, Ally Case, she has done branding photography with the 5 company that's doing our web design before, and so she was familiar with branding photography and kind of the look that we would possibly be going with. And she is $900 for a half day, $1,800 for a day, no long-term contract. We just hired her and kind of float along, and that included her editing. Image masters, and feel free to correct me in any way, okay? This is just a brief. They submitted a proposal and along with photography, and their photos, including time, edits, and all rights. I had a couple questions. All rights, $200 each. Is that per picture or is that per session?
Per image. Just per picture.
Per picture?
Yeah.
So every picture that we buy is gonna be $200?
That's correct. If it takes us 5 hours to do the shot, then it takes us 5 hours. If it takes us an hour, then it takes us an hour, but you still pay $200.
Okay, $200 per picture, alrighty. And then, so then we would have you come in, if we wanted to do an event, then it would be $750 for the half day and a full day at $15.
That's correct.
And aerial photos, those are coming later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the $1,500 for the day, we still have to pay the $200 per photo that we.
No.
Okay.
That includes all the photos.
Okay.
Okay, so, alrighty, so we would have to like figure out if we were gonna limit each business, we have to just really dive into our budget. Like each business would get 1 picture, 2 pictures, and kind of figure out where we would go from there.
I have a suggestion. So we would just come out and take the photos. You'd give us a list of all of the businesses that are participating participating, we
Mhm.
would come out and take multiple photos of each, we would put them up on our website, you guys would just choose the ones that you wanted.
Yeah, that's what I figured would happen, but then we would have to limit our businesses like you do. Or if you would like to buy additional photos, or we could do, if you'd like to do additional photos
Right.
outside of your bid fund,
Definitely.
yeah, possibly we could add that on.
How many businesses?
From 150 to 170, so that's at least 30,000 with just 150 businesses.
Yeah.
Good.
We just wanna make it as simple as we can.
So after
No, it makes sense, yeah.
we pay for the website, if
Mhm.
you include 2 years of DID fees, give or take, about
Uh-huh.
$24,000 a year, that leaves you guys a budget after paying for the cornhole thing
Mhm.
and the trolley one time, you guys have $25,000 left for the year.
For this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
The trolley one time, you said pay for the trolley one time?
Yeah,
Did the, chamber pays for it the other time?
the Santa Lucia, I just charged to the city since
Mhm.
I
Oh, from
miscommunicated.
last year?
So,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. But for the current year,
If we run it again this
we had a
winter,
couple of days we already booked,
you gotta think ahead.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, beautiful photos.
Thank you.
Love
Yeah,
them.
they really
Yeah.
were.
My husband's a photographer who was in India, and he was like, those are nice, I like that. Our third proposal that came through, unless you folks would like to step forward and talk to us, or are you guys good with it?
We're happy to answer any questions.
You guys have any questions outside of what we asked? How soon are you available?
Today?
Right now.
Okay.
We're happy to start as soon as you'd like.
Whenever you need it.
Okay. All right. Our third proposal came from Ally, an anonymous pastor.
Correct.
Oh, wow. There you go. Okay, so Ally, first submitted a proposal with, basically, she's an hourly rate without editing and an hourly rate with editing. Her first hour of photos with editing is $250 an hour, and additional hours is $200. Hourly rates with editing, which of course we would do, would be $350 an hour and additional $300 an hour for that. She says she can shoot from 2 to 10 businesses per hour, depending on the scope of the project. And of course, she made, accommodations for like storefronts without traffic and cars, dog walkers that may interfere with time. Like traffic cones can be used to block a parking spot so the business is willing to work on Sunday, things can move along faster. If we had her come out for event photography, her rates would be the same as stated above unless otherwise discussed to ensure the most value for your money. So Ally, my question is after you edit them, are they, there's an unlimited number of pictures that we can get from you?
Yeah, I've worked with JP Solutions before, and he just has a preference, so people just have different preferences of how they want to work. So when it comes to web design photography, people want loads of stuff so you can use it for your social media, and I know that's the thing you guys are wanting to get into. So yeah, the photos are unlimited, and then the editing is only priced that way because some people prefer to pay editing by hour. So that's just your preference. And then delivery is either via online, or if you guys want to do like a flash drive, that way it's a little bit more solidified, it just has to be provided.
Okay. When are you available to start?
Right now.
Are you, familiar with shooting inside stores too, like people shopping and things like that too?
Yeah, so I've done the design photography for Bravo Farms, Legends, and Huma Transport. And all of those kind of like tie into this project. So we've done the outdoor mural with Chima. I've done all of the food photography for both Bravo and Legends, and I've done all of their inside as well.
Do you have any, pictures of that, like on your Instagram or anything?
I personally don't have it on my Instagram for respect of the design
Yeah.
that they're doing, but it is
Okay.
on their website.
It's on their website.
Yes. And if you wanna point it out to me so I can clarify which ones are mine, I can do that for you. Cause they're not all mine, they do use their own photos as well.
And that was Rose Farms, Chima,
And Legends and so
and
on.
Legends?
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Ally?
So do you think that on their Instagram, most of these would be your
So on
online
their
photos?
actual website, they
Uh-huh.
have a gallery.
Oh, okay.
Check out.
Do you want me, I could hop on mine real fast if you want.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So,
then it's
for
just,
Legends?
Legends Tap House and Grill. And then there's a little 3 lines at the top, click on that, and then go down to gallery. And while you're doing that, I have a couple things that I wrote down
don't mind if I can't spell.
because you're fine. I won't even look at the
The
screen.
pressure's on, I can't spell, I'll tell you right now.
Because, okay, I probably would spell it wrong too. No, I just put a couple things down, just kind of after I put in the proposal, things that kind of came to mind, that are relevant to the project. So I spoke, to her, Amanda, about just a couple things that you guys are looking for, stop by our shop and ask. But I know when it comes to branding, things are constantly changing. So when we do the photos, I'll coordinate with each business and make sure that they have people that they want to be photographed. If they don't, models will be pulled in. I've worked with models for over 8 years. So I have people who can be from Kingsburg if you want them from Kingsburg or out of town. And then all of the communication, once you give me a contact list, will be between me and the client unless you guys say otherwise, so that way you guys don't have to worry about the project until you worry about the project. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it was clear, and then, of course, the delivery of the photos is just up to you guys how you want to handle that.
You want me to go through this gallery right here? Make me happen. Ready for this?
I know, and they were telling me on the day I took the photos, they were like, do you want to take any of these meals home, we can't send them out, and I was like, oh gosh.
So these photos right here,
All of
all of those are yours?
I snuck one in that I didn't know about, and looks just like mine.
I've never been there.
You've never been there?
Now I wanna go.
Mac and cheese, delicious. So is there any questions that you guys have that I haven't touched?
Okay.
Lauren, do you have any questions?
Oh, that's just, I'm good, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you, Leah.
Yeah, no problem.
I have a question. So am I to understand that the company that is doing our website does not take photographs?
No, they do have an option, like an additional add-on for photography. Their recommendation was to use a local company to establish a relationship and kind of partner with them, especially if we might want to call on them for in-town events and such. So that's kind of where the call to
Okay.
solicit photography bids came from. But they do have the option, remember what the
They
rate
do
was?
have the option, and they're really easy though. They're like, wherever you guys wanna go, we're gonna figure this out. So if we wanna do local, they're totally fine with that.
And I think they
first
used the
proposal-
first person in.
Yeah, they have used her before, but they said it's no problem if we don't choose her, no big deal. Yeah. He's very accommodating, and whoever the photographer is, I mean, as far as like what I asked about delivery, you know, he will work that out with them, any technical issues that they have, flash drive versus online, delivery or anything like that. He will handle all of that with the photographer, and we don't have to. He's not gonna call me and go, hey, Les, your flash drive didn't work. He's gonna handle all of that with whomever we choose. Have you folks worked with them before, Five Creative?
We have not, no, but we have worked with other web designers,
Yeah.
and we designed our own website as well.
Thank you. Yeah, they're really nice people, so it would be very easy. Our third, proposal came from, she's not here to correct me, Heidi Long. She did not, really, show us any photos, but she has quite a bit of, she has a degree in photography. She's working on a bigger degree in photography. And, she has references, I kind of looked through the Three Sisters Organic Pictures. I looked at that, and the Turkovich family, I looked at those photos online last night. They were nice. She has a starting rate of $25 an hour, additional cost for mileage, some drives, prints, et cetera. So I think we would really have to sit down and break it out. Also, too, the one thing that kind of struck me is copyright of the photograph will be owned by Siding Long or the client name. So I don't know if we have to negotiate if we own those or if we're gonna have to use, ask her about using them. So that would be a conversation that we would wanna have with her just to go forward. And she does have, in your packet, if you guys have time, there's a couple links if you wanna look at some of her photography. Any observations from that proposal? Are you guys wanna move on, or?
She has a very pretty edit, like very unique look. It's
Mhm.
more, like lifestyle versus,
Mhm.
commercial.
Yeah,
That's
very
my
nice.
outtake.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like vintage, like it was shot on a, you know, like a cool old camera, but
Mhm.
it's not necessarily, I would say probably what we want for like a storefront
Right.
image. It looks
Yeah.
pretty neat though.
Our fourth proposal came from Chrislin, Peterson Photography. Her photography was very nice, beautiful. My only problem with this, and it'd probably be, I would call her and have a conversation with her, is that while her resume looks really great, and, she said, you know, she'll take pictures of 155 to 170 visits throughout the duration of the project timeline, which would include any and all seasonal events the City of Kingsburg. Deliverables will be negotiable and negotiated with the Kingsburg Business District and can be submitted bi-weekly or any other timeline determined by the district. Ms. Peterson will be available to photograph any participating businesses within the city limits with a registered business license. Timelines for each business can be determined by participating businesses and the district and Ms. Peterson. Ms. Peterson
Yeah.
and she's not going to discuss that with us until we sign the proposal.
That doesn't work.
So that can't really work because we're a public entity and we have to know exactly what's going on up front. So I would, if you guys would like me to, her photographs are nice, if you would like, I would be willing to call her and ask her if she'd like to resubmit with some kind of budgetary outlines, or would you like to pass?
And everybody else.
Everybody else came to the table.
And did what was asked, so I think we have to respect that.
I agree with that.
Agreed? Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Pictures are nice, so.
Okay, moving on to our last proposal was, Tennis City, marketing by Kimberly. That's a really impressive, resume, a lot of different things on there. Please contact me, numbers. She, I think is a little bit out of our price budget, because she's a photographer-only retainer, 155 to 170 storefronts, website photography of downtown, 5-hour shoot and post-production for website. This would be a conversation for her too, is she's $2,092 per month. Now, 1-year contract is required,
Yeah.
so we can't really do that, that would blow our budget out
I think it's more like having someone on
staff.
staff, we don't need it like that. We're like on a one-time project plus a couple times a year.
Yeah. So I think that one can be eliminated at this time. So those are our proposals. Now that we've all kind of talked about it, would you guys like to, focus in on the folks that came today and read and take a look at the pictures and then come back to make an action decision at the next meeting, or do we want to proceed today?
I think what would help is if we could figure out a way to make these all apples to apples, because some of these are larger rates that encompass everything, and then some of them are hourly, and I don't think we know exactly what hourly would look like for everyone. If everyone's hourly looks the same, how many they can do.
Mhm.
I wish there was a way to, we could kind of define the bids, and then, know if we're looking for similar.
So what if we did this? Now that we've read all these proposals, that we go back and each one of us writes down what you need to know, and we build a questionnaire that is the same for each company, and we ask each company these questions, and then that would simplify the answers for us?
I think so, right, if we narrowed it down to the missions that we want to consider, we can have a little further discussion with each.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can take it a step further and almost counter bid in a way, like set a budget and an expectation of what we need with that budget.
Mm-hmm.
So we need 2 photos, one inside, one outside of every business downtown. And this is how much we're willing to pay for those.
And this is how many businesses, and this is the timeline that we need them by, so we
Yeah.
need them within X amount of days from the signing of the contract or whatnot.
And then this many hours per event and this many events.
Yeah.
And what photos come out of that, right? Now we have a better understanding of what's actually out there and how this is priced, so it should make it a little bit easier to.
Everybody
what we're
does
asking
good work,
for.
so that's not part of it.
I know, that's
Thank you guys
all
for sending in
beautiful.
all your pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also do probably consult with, Ron, just to make sure that those photos that we're asking for are what he really needs for
Yes.
that.
Yeah, plug in.
Yeah, and he would probably be willing to come in and just observe and, or contribute to our event conversation I can have with him.
Do we want to narrow it down to 4, those first 4 we talked about, or how do we want to do that, or do we want to give the other ones an opportunity to come back with counter pricing based off of what our budget is?
3.
There's 6.
Oh, wait, yeah, sorry, the first 3.
First 3.
Yeah.
Or after the first one, you're saying? Because there's 6, right?
Yes,
You're
there's.
talking
There.
Ally, Image, and Ellie.
There are bookmarks on the screen, so if you look at the bookmarks, it has them listed in order what you guys reviewed.
Yeah.
So Ellie, Image, and,
Ally.
And Ally.
That makes sense to
Yeah,
me.
I think so too.
Mhm.
Those are the 3 proposals that definitely made sense, and
Mm-hmm.
That
we're in
seems to
line
fit
with
the
what we knew we were
project,
looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did the web designers also come up with a proposal? Because they were out taking pictures just last week.
Yeah, I was wondering who that was.
It was the people that were here with it,
Mhm.
last minute.
I think they're trying to get some placeholder photos on the
Yeah.
website to get started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember what their rate was?
I don't think it was, I don't think we had an actual quote, it was just, and photography is an add-on.
If you wanted it, they
Yeah.
would get you a quote, okay.
Maybe we could
We
get
could look
that,
into
just
that.
to put it
Yeah.
on here too.
Yeah.
For a comparative, or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Opening bids usually at the city, and this is kind of like what this is.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna email our city attorney to see if this is what they proposed, is what's up there right now, to see what flexibility we have for,
Especially
That
like
makes
for
copyright.
changing it, because that's
Mhm.
kind of, I'm just gonna make sure that, he's probably not gonna respond to, right now, to
No,
the
no.
meeting,
Mhm.
but just to make sure that we're good,
Procedural on that.
Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense.
So then I would make a motion that we don't take action on this today on further investigation and procedures.
Yeah, because a lot of companies ask, like, is there a budget, like, how many, I think that you guys are narrowing it down now, and that when we put the proposal out there, there really wasn't any guidelines other than this is how many photos and this is what they're looking for, so I just wanna make sure that we're okay.
Just to clarify for you folks that came in, the bid is 1 year brand new.
Yeah.
And we are
We're figuring it out.
figuring it out. And, you know, we fake it till we make it, and so, and we're all learning all the rules of government, so, we lean on this young lady right here.
As private.
So we are making an
Yeah.
action, but
We
it's not a
lean
formal
on
one.
this young lady right here, because we're like, let's do that. And she's like, well, there's a couple steps, so we appreciate your patience.
Oh, well, I had a few questions for Abigail myself, just because it was really vague. But I
Yeah.
would love to say that I do really appreciate the offering that you made of, coming up and a counter offer. That really helps us as a business understand more of what it is that we have to work with.
And it's where you can really tailor it, you know,
Yeah.
really tailor it to your needs,
So,
specifications.
and it might be if we do that, then we just reopen it again with those specific guidelines,
That makes sense.
is all that I'm
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to, I mean, we're just gonna simply say that none of the bids fit what our need was necessarily, and then now we're moving forward with, these are what, now we know what our needs are, please resubmit.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me, because there's just, they're all so very different,
Yeah.
and it's hard to compare.
And when I spoke to most of the businesses, they're like, what do they want? And it's like, well, I wish
They
I
don't
could
know.
tell you.
They don't know what they want.
You don't tell us what we want.
And some people might not have, you know,
Sure.
it was hard to try to describe, because like you guys are saying, you didn't really
Mhm.
know,
We didn't know what was available, we didn't know what we could get,
Yeah,
so. And we wanna make sure we're fair to everybody that put the effort in to put their bids in for sure, so.
I do have a question. Are you
Yes.
requiring the photographers to have insurance?
They would have
That's
to
a city
have a
question.
business license through the city of Kingsburg in order to
Yeah.
get paid.
and this, for the contract, it'd probably be looked at by our city attorney, and we usually require liability insurance, just the city listed as a additional insured,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And they do have to take out a city business license to be paid by the
Yeah.
city. Yeah.
But I told most of the people, not till you're hired, I didn't want
Yeah.
8
Yeah.
people getting business licenses and not needing them, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion
So
that
if
we're.
they get a business, oh, no, just kidding, do they become part of the business?
No.
No, just kidding, they're not downtown.
Unless they move
I'm
downtown.
like, wait a second.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to table this, to do a little more investigation to streamline our bids.
Well, did you guys wanna discuss the budget and what you need
I
at
think
this
we-
meeting, or?
We might as well take the action here, and then if we can move forward with it, move forward with it. Pending,
Legal advice?
legal advice, yes.
All right.
So, I guess we have the 25,
Yeah, so, but you made a motion to table it, so,
So I'm gonna rescind that.
Motion denied.
Yeah. That motion died.
Okay, that motion died.
We need a list
Okay.
of Robert's rules of.
I know, I'll send it to you guys.
It's been a long
just put
time.
it right here,
Right?
right in front of everybody,
Okay.
the cliff notes.
So so last year, the total BID that came in was a little bit more than $24,000. So I would assume this year it would be about the same. It's changing every day. I just entered some yesterday. January 19th, it was already at 13,000 for this fiscal year, but it's more than that already. So, but we have those two accounts, or those two amounts, but our website,
Right, has a maintenance, a
Yeah.
monthly maintenance, right, or quarterly?
well, the contract, we paid half of it, and that was 11,500, so we're gonna pay another 11,500.
Mhm.
So you have to remove that money, which is about a year's worth of, BID fees, right?
Mhm.
So, and then we have the cornhole board for 300, and then the holiday kickoff, I think that was a Saturday for Christmas or something, I can't remember
Those are shopping.
exactly, and that was $255. So that leaves about $25,000 for the rest of this fiscal year, for whatever you guys wanna spend it on.
When does our fiscal year start and end?
It's July 1st to
Okay.
June 31st.
So the first half of the web payment is included in that?
We already paid
So
it,
both- Yeah, but both of those will be in the same fiscal year?
Yeah,
Okay,
I believe
January,
so,
July
I'd have to look at the
So
contract.
we have 20, we have the potential for 25,000 through December. Or no, sorry, that's the next, because I thought we
Through
were on the
June
calendar.
30th.
Through June 30th.
It's the business
Business
license.
licenses are a calendar year, but fiscally, how the city keeps track of it
Okay.
is a fiscal year.
Gotcha.
So even though they're due, you know, I just go by fiscal year, because that's how we keep track.
You're always paying your business license 6 months. For the accounting.
It's an annual license,
Yeah.
but not on the fiscal year,
Yeah.
calendar license. So it's still a $25,000 budget, even though halfway through the fiscal year, we kind of,
Yeah, we'll just count what's gonna be coming in,
okay.
yeah.
So there's, okay. So the
Few
business
other things.
licenses that we're collecting right now, that money's available come July. Is that how that works?
So so we have, a little bit leftover money from last year,
Mm-hmm.
right, because
We didn't spend it all.
Because
we didn't spend it
much.
all.
Mhm.
And that would be July through June this year.
If you don't even, it's kind of like a rolling account, right?
Right.
It's not, if you don't spend it, you lose it. It doesn't work that way. It's your guys' money, it's in the
Mhm.
account, it's in a separate, you know, line
Right.
item, it's your business license money,
Okay.
or DID money. So, I don't know, I think I'm not
So it's
explaining it
just
clearly.
available as soon as it comes available?
Yeah.
And there's
And if
never a
you
window
guys
where it's
spend,
available,
you know,
it's available.
just
As long as
think
Up
people are paying their
front,
business
if
licenses,
you
we
spend
have
a
that
little
money.
bit more than what's in there, it's okay, because by the end of the fiscal year, that will be,
Gotcha.
it will be in there.
Right.
And there's been really good compliance with people paying in the DID. You know, the businesses that never had a license, like all the mortgage companies and banks, like, they understand now, and they're paying their $100 fee also, so. We're kind of got over the
Mhm.
learning curve of what is this, why am I paying?
Mhm.
So basically, we've got about $25,000 this year for everything.
Yes, going
So
to
we
June
can-
30th, that's how much
Going to
money
June
should be in
30th.
the
Okay.
pot.
What was left over from, what do we have left over from last year?
I'm including that in what I'm
Oh,
saying right
okay,
now.
perfect.
Yeah, so I'm
We
just
pretty
doing
much
like a
spent all
rolling
last
total.
year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, rolling total, okay.
Yeah.
And so the other half of the 5 deposit, the 11,500, that's not including quarterly maintenance, correct? Don't we have a quarterly maintenance,
I didn't read
Yeah.
through,
Okay,
is that,
because we need to factor that into what 2022 expenses, and we've already booked the trolley twice, and then any
Anything
other,
else? I mean, I don't think we want to spend it all,
right.
just in case something comes up.
Because we
And
were
what if
talking
people don't
about,
pay their license, this is an estimated budget.
yeah, and we're talking about, we want new trees, and I think there's some other,
New trees probably won't happen this year,
oh, okay,
just because of when I went, it's totally radical. It's a long story, it
Okay.
probably won't happen this year.
okay,
I mean, maybe a couple, but the outdoor ones that we would wanna buy, that would last a long time.
yes,
Supply chain.
Yeah.
The chemical they use to make those trees is unavailable for 9 months,
okay,
so they're backlogged.
okay. But just thinking about it,
Yeah,
of course,
but
we don't
moving
wanna spend our
The
whole,
following holiday.
We can still decorate, I ordered all that stuff for you guys at cost, so, but actual trees, I don't know.
when did we do
So there are
the,
some fun.
January.
was
we
it
got
the January's when we did the proposal
It
for?
was November, but we voted on it in December.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So I know that there is startup costs for,
Right, we needed.
only one
We
page.
paid that,
We did the 11.5.
I'm in the right thing, right?
yeah, I think it's in there. That looks right, that's nice and long.
Yeah, that one was only a page long.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's,
We did like package.
just scroll down. I was gonna look for any,
You received an invoice, right? And then you paid off of that?
yeah, they sent us an invoice for half of what, like the first half deposit, and
Okay.
so.
There it is.
Okay.
Quarterly maintenance, so 300, so we have.
1,200 annual, yeah.
And none of that's included yet, I don't think, right? Because we haven't technically built it out yet.
No, that 22,000, I guess, we've already given them,
Right, but it doesn't.
or will be
include this,
giving
right?
them. It does not include
Okay,
that.
so we need to add that, 12%. And what's the cost for the trolleys?
So that was from, and it could, that was from 10 a.m., yeah, to 7 p.m. And it was $255,
So about $500-ish.
give or take, yeah.
We're doing it twice, is that right?
And that's with the one trolley driver, and we might, I don't know, it's a little technical trying to,
We should probably set aside $1,000 for trolley.
that would probably be a fair way to do it.
So,
And then Leslie, what kind of costs are we looking at for Christmas? Or do we want to add that on there just so we can edge?
decorating,
$500.
Okay.
for the mains of the trees this year.
And like the decorations bits too.
So basically, Berman's gonna sell it to you, everything to you wholesale.
Yeah, that's
They're gonna, yeah, so $500.
We may need some lights too,
Okay,
so maybe we say
I'll work on
1,000 or
$1,000.
1,000 dollars. So basically about 20,000 will be on that, give or take.
Yeah, but still, because we still have to factor the other half, that the other 11,000, right? We
No,
don't
that
have,
doesn't count in there,
We
she
don't
already
have-
took that out of that.
but we still have another half, right?
She took that out,
Oh, you took
what's
that
left
out.
over. You took
Yeah.
that out of there, 11,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got about 20,000 to work with this year, beyond what we already are planning on spending. But do we, I don't know if we really want to spend that all on just the photography part.
No.
No?
Because if, I would love to be able to, if somebody came to us and said, hey, can you help us partner with this, you know, Chamber wanted to partner with it, I don't want our hands to be tied, and say, we can't.
And that, I love the idea of the website, but it's very difficult to measure what that is actually going to do for the downtown business. It's hard to actually say, this website brought this insurance company more business, and so on and so on. So being like, thinking of everyone that's paying into it, we have to be wise with the budget, because I don't think that would necessarily benefit everybody in the same way, right?
It, you know, and that was kind of one of my thoughts too, it's, there's a lot of businesses that are paying into the bid that don't really benefit from a direct marketing thing, like other businesses would.
Right.
We got hair salon and retail and restaurants are obviously gonna benefit far more than a church or a bank. Because a lot of those have static customers.
Right. So you get like some recognition of the city and bringing people downtown, but we don't want to spend every penny of their.
It also shows the diversity of what we have downtown. It helps market Kingsburg as a whole with all of those different businesses, but we also have to remember it's their money.
Right, that's my point, yeah. We don't want to spend every penny on this project because it's not going to benefit everybody in the same exact way.
I have a question. Is that the only money that's available for a photographer for the city?
At this point, right, because, yeah.
Yeah, this is, so the Downtown Business Improvement District, they pay 100% of their business license extra into a pot, and they get to decide how to use that money. So the city's not gonna use our, like, general fund money, it's the BID's money to use as they like.
Unless the city council wants to give us some.
Just take that back.
Well, you know.
Take a note.
But we did talk about there was like a,
The TOT, yeah.
TOT and beautification funds and all that too, so.
This also includes the photography for the city events that are gonna be happening?
it would be specifically downtown events that we would be, but I mean,
that money
sometimes
comes from
that's
the
the
same
same
pot,
thing, yeah, but it's not coming from the city, it's coming from this part of the city.
Okay.
This little,
It was to benefit the businesses and not
I got
the
you.
city of Kingsburg.
That's really
There is
helpful
some
to
overlap,
Yeah.
yeah, there is some overlap with like what the Chamber of Commerce does and everything too, so.
it's not a very big city, so of course, everything kind of happens downtown.
Well, it's helpful to understand the process there for.
Uh-huh.
for the
Right.
business.
Like I said, we're brand new.
Appreciate it.
We're like, we're right there with you. We're figuring it out.
What are we thinking? 10,000
10,000, 15,000?
I would top at 15.
I mean, I think that's a lot for photography, to be honest.
And I know this is like
Prices
an
that'll go
initial project, this is not an annual expense, we would, obviously, the businesses come and go, so there's that, but
I think this can, honestly, I think it could be done in a day, like a full day, if someone,
I'll stop you right there.
Yeah.
No,
It can't be done today. There's no way.
Just so you,
Okay.
the photos that we took,
Yes.
that we submitted, just those, we got up 2 days in a row. We came out in late afternoon, and then we came out again at 4 o'clock in the morning just to take those.
how many hours?
We probably spent, a total of maybe 6 or 8 hours over the course of both
Yeah.
days, and then there was the editing.
Yeah.
That was
I know the
probably
editing,
another-
like,
They're
4
looking,
hours to
I
gather all
would
the
say,
pieces.
this project, they're looking at
how many hours total?
a couple weeks.
What do you think, too?
Because then you could
Like,
take time.
if we are looking at your hourly rate, how many hours should we estimately
What is it?
estimately
Just
plug
so you
in?
know,
Hundred and fifty-five to 170 businesses.
Let's just say 170. Okay, well.
And not every business is gonna be, portrayed the same way as far as like, some of them, it's like an upstairs office.
No, understood.
Right.
So we took all this into account when we understood that this was, the hourly rate that we normally charge for portraits and event photography just wouldn't work for the city. Everybody's gonna be available at different times, and businesses are gonna be larger, and businesses are gonna be smaller, and getting employees together, and all that kind of stuff is gonna be different. So that's why we wanted to make it very simple, and it was just, if it took us 5 hours, your photo was still gonna be $200. So we're not working on an hourly rate here.
Right,
We're
okay.
just working on what each business wants and what we'll provide for that business. And the time is our time. We're investing in this
Mhm.
project, the same as you're investing in, getting your website up with the businesses that are here. So, it wouldn't matter for us what the time constraints were. I
Okay.
believe. It would be just the end product, which is what you guys are mostly interested in.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to compare that to an hourly rate and
Yeah,
see
totally understand.
what makes more sense.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, what you're saying
Yeah.
makes perfect sense.
On an average, it takes us about an hour to take one photo, and then go home and edit it, takes another hour or so. So you're looking at a roughly two-hour job for one photo.
I guess what I was thinking, sorry, that's not, I know it's a lot of work and the editing is a lot of hours, I get that. I was thinking down here in person, how many hours is it gonna take to go, get this business and this, it's literally 3 shots per business. So what I was thinking is, how many
But it's not
hours?
really 3 shots per business, it's like 10 or 20 shots to get 3 good shots.
There you go.
Correct.
That's it right there. And then you have to come in
I
at the
live
right
this world.
time. Which is why we got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to come in when there was no traffic and there was no
There've been
people.
some
of the
cars and the photos.
Right,
Yeah.
because we didn't want to inconvenience the
Right.
city and,
Yeah.
try to find this and, just try to make it simple.
And the photography game has elevated.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
it has elevated, it's crazy.
Not just show up with your iPhone and take
No.
photos.
To answer your question though, for a breakdown of, based on the hours that I put on there and the businesses that can hypothetically get done, the range is between 17 and 85, somewhere in the middle of that is 34 hours.
Hours, 34.
Yeah. And so the photos that I, submitted, I put it on the proposal as well. Those were taken during a busy time, so obviously it's a little different, like they got up and, so that cars weren't there, but there was obviously cars in my photos and stuff like that, so that'll be changed. But that's why I know from looking at it, Sundays, we don't have business, most of the businesses aren't open on their days. So we do things like that, it cuts down hours a lot. And then those photos that I took and then edited the same night and then put them in the proposal. So, I have a developed editing system that is a copy and paste, and then I go through each photo and tweak it from there. But it's based on what kind of editing style you want, if you're wanting minimalistic or if you're wanting bold colors. I go through with the presets that I've created, and then it cuts down your editing time significantly, and that's where that price difference comes in.
So realistically, if we didn't plan on spending at least right around 15, probably isn't gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
34 hours at $350 an hour is $11,900.
Do it at at $300 an hour. Yeah.
How
And
many
that
different
was my
people
sorry.
are there?
No, you're fine, that's 10,200.
How many
Okay,
businesses are there?
Yeah.
And that's like your maximum amount of
170?
It like,
hours. or
it's a fluid
minimum
number of
hours
people
per
coming
hour.
in and leaving, but
You know,
And we
if,
don't
like, if they walked into Berman and we were all set to go, but a family walked in, I'd be like, time out, sorry guys, and so they have to take all those things into account too.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta ring the
Yeah.
I remember when I did it, Sam Payne withdrew her proposal because she's not gonna have the time this year, but when I did it with her, yeah, there was a lot going on, and then everyone wants to talk to you, and I'm like, oh, we can't talk, we gotta go to the next business.
Yeah, and then that's why it's also smart, if you communicate with the businesses and they are willing to do a day off, and we're willing to do this in sporadic hours instead of 8-hour chunks. I live here, so I can just make that happen and communicate with them on a day off, so there are no customers,
Right.
and that eliminates that completely.
I would say, I have one more question for, both of you that are here. What if we're not happy with some of the photos?
Oh, we should,
Yeah, no-
it's not
no
a time, it's not a time thing for
Oh.
us. We, you know, you're expressing that, you know, you're kind of new at this, and you're kind of, you know,
Yeah.
figuring it out as you go. Well, we want to be part of that process, you know, with you guys, we want to grow with you guys.
That's where I really like the certainty of pricing when it's a price per photo.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That does help a little bit, when, especially from a budget standpoint.
So any reshoots trust me, we've done photo shoots and we've asked the client, can we do a reshoot because we're not happy.
We traveled to San Francisco for the. to do a
Right, yeah,
reshoot.
that's, okay, awesome, absolutely true, that's great.
Let's see.
No added extra time or anything would be.
I sat and talked to through 2 or 3 photographers, they're friends of mine that don't do this kind of photography, and they're like, that is a huge monster.
Well, just look at how much it costs you to have a wedding.
Right, I've had a
Photography
couple
done next one
photographers that
day.
didn't want to.
Yeah.
And there's no reviews.
No.
That's right, that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay, well,
Can I ask one more question before you?
absolutely.
Please.
Are you guys reopening this and then we're gonna have to resubmit a proposal and other people are gonna be submitting as well, or how will we?
we don't know yet.
we don't know yet.
That's fine.
That would be
That's about
a rule thing, right?
I think you guys are thinking about going forward with the top 3
Yeah.
Mhm.
with a set budget and
Yeah.
what you guys need. So I'm just gonna check with our city attorney to make sure that that's okay. After the meeting, I'll give them a call.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanna obviously be respectful of the fact that you guys put the effort in to
Mhm.
give us a proposal, so we wanna give you first shot at it for sure. But we have to, I mean, sometimes you might get to a point where you just can't do it because you don't even have the money.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's where we might have to counter proposal, I guess.
But
at
you
some point.
do have money from now until June, and then you'll have the same amount of money from June until.
No,
Not really, no.
Is
Kind
that how
of.
that works?
Kind of.
Kind of,
Okay.
because we'll have to have that for additional things in the future too, so. Yes, we could spread it out, we could break it up, but really the images that we need now for the website.
Well, everything that we put in our proposal is also negotiable, so
Okay.
we are open to hearing what you guys need and what you guys have to work with.
Well, thank you, yes.
Yes, thank you very much. You guys, good education.
We might have to have a workshop,
Yeah.
Abby's favorite thing, workshops.
Okay, so
Oh.
I think we'll table that for now.
we're gonna
until
table.
we hear from you.
Well, I mean, what we could do is you guys don't wanna set a budget and that right now, since we're in an open meeting. So if we table it, we're gonna have to do it
Another meeting.
another meeting.
Okay.
And you can meet more than once a month. I mean, that's up to you guys, but did you wanna set a budget of what you need, or did you want to meet again to set the budget?
Okay.
I make a motion that we set aside budget 15,000 for the photography services, and build that budget based on what our need is in the information that's here, pending the result, or pending the approval from the city attorney.
And have the top 3 businesses that are listed
Resubmit based on that budget.
And further.
And further guidance, as in how many photos we need
And that's Ally Case, Image Masters, and Elijah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sure. Okay.
No one else has my name, it's okay.
Mhm.
I just had a question. Now that we're motioning that, we don't have to use all that 15,000 on.
We don't, that's just the budget.
Okay, that's,
Yep.
that's the top
Because
of
we
our.
also want to consider leaving some for events.
Right. But that still leaves us a little over $6,000 left after that.
I mean, like a photography budget for events.
I think
Well, that would include in the 15,000.
Okay.
That would include all of photography expenses
For the whole
within
year.
that 15,000.
Okay.
Yep. For the year.
And are you guys doing this fiscal year, or are you doing end of the year?
This would be calendar.
Would be the calendar year.
We just don't wanna spend more than what, council would just have to approve a budget adjustment to spend more than what was already budgeted for this year. So you guys are budgeted to spend what you bring in.
Mhm.
So if you're spending ahead, then we'd have to bring that to council.
That's why I'm saying the 15,000 for the full calendar year, because then we're not spending ahead, we're just spending what brings in on these business licenses right now.
As of June 30th of this year.
Correct.
That's the money that we're talking about right
Yes.
now. Yeah.
The money that we have through June 30th.
I know you guys pay calendar year, but think fiscal year.
We have to think
Yeah.
fiscal.
So
we're
is
gonna,
our motion needs to be revised to say 15,000 fiscal year?
fiscal year.
Do we want to say fiscal year then? Because,
You don't have to put it in
well,
there.
but the only reason I say that is because then after July 1, we technically have a new round of money coming, but we don't actually get that money until
But you
the
can
next
spend
one.
it.
So we can
Spend
spend
it.
Okay, okay.
So there is so by the end of this calendar year, there is the potential to have $50,000 of income.
No.
I
In
don't
theory.
think calendar year, because it's just like, business licenses come in halfway through the year for me. You
Okay.
know,
They come
it's
in,
not.
okay, they come in halfway through the year, not
So
for
we've
the
already,
next
we
year.
are
Yeah.
already,
Okay.
spending
Yeah.
what was paid in January, basically,
Yeah.
because that was part of the 21-22 fiscal year.
Yeah,
We get
Okay.
paid halfway through the month.
Yeah,
Pretty
so we
much.
gotta
Okay.
re-up a little bit, okay.
yeah.
Right.
So that money, so the money that we would start with in July this year,
Would be a
we
whole
actually don't
other-
get until January.
A little bit.
Physically doesn't show up in the
Physically,
city
but
until
you guys
January.
could budget ahead, you know, we
We can
said,
budget ahead.
we're gonna be doing our budget soon, you
Mhm.
know, and you guys will have another budget that you'll propose to council, kinda how you did, you know,
Mhm.
spend 5% marketing, however you wanna tier it, and then we'll have a new fiscal year all over again.
So July 1, we'll have a bunch of money available again, if we need to revisit this.
Budget-wise, but not
Budget-wise.
necessarily, the account is gonna stay the same.
Government money. Don't pay attention to what's in the account. Pay attention to what will be in the account.
So if you overspend in one line item at the end of the fiscal year, Alma, the finance director, has to do a budget amendment to show, you know, it's just,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so rewind back to the 15,000 budget, period.
Yeah.
No timeline, we're gonna set aside $15,000 to do all of the photography needs for the website. And give that budget back to our top three,
Ally Case, Image Masters, and Elijah Tauscher.
yes, and have them resubmit based on what our photography needs are, and within that budget, what they can do. Pending approval of city attorney with for the limitation of the three companies. So then what are we expecting in return? And that we want the events, how many hours per event do we want to also put in there?
Or do we want a couple images from each event?
Let's focus on images.
Do we just say 10 images from each event, is that enough?
Probably even less, like,
Yeah, I think so.
5?
yeah, 5
Yeah.
to 8 for, you know,
And how many events are there? 'Cause I think we have to outline this,
right.
so that they know exactly what to give us. So there's, how many events downtown?
You should know that.
I should know this, I know, I'm sorry.
Car show, Swedish. And then are we including all of them? But, okay, we're gonna put them in. Okay,
Breakfast
so,
Festival,
Crayfish,
Car
Yoga
Fish,
Fest,
Your
San
Way,
Lucia.
Santa Lucia.
Yoga Fest,
And on the holiday
Shopping
open
Day,
house.
Holiday Kickoff,
So we have 6.
Car show?
Yeah, we got that.
yeah, the car show, Crayfish.
So photos of each event. And then 2 photos of each business, or just 1?
To give to 5,
Yeah,
at least 2.
I'd say, yeah.
2 to 3?
2 to 3.
If you think of like a restaurant, we
They're
might
gonna
wanna
have
have
a lot more.
the outside of the restaurant, but we might wanna have a picture of food with
Yeah.
that restaurant.
If you guys
to
do an
use.
average of photos,
That's what I was
it'll
gonna
look
say.
better somewhere in the middle of your, because the bank isn't gonna need many.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
has to be
Restaurant.
equitable also, where each business gets the same.
Well,
Right.
they could use,
Representation.
even if we don't use all 3 on the website, those could be plugged into social media or something else,
Yeah.
that could be.
Yeah, just
So,
like a
so
line.
2 to 3 photos, 2 to 3 photos per business, with anywhere from 150 to 170 businesses.
We might need to make that more specific,
Yeah,
because
if
that
you're saying-
20 businesses different, if you're paying per image, that's a huge difference.
And when you say 2 to 3, who decides who gets 2 and who gets 3?
Well, I think that gives them the flexibility to bid.
So
Like,
here's,
I can't do 3
Oh,
photos for
I
this much
understand.
money,
But
but I
either-
can do 2.
But if
Either
they're
2
paying
or
per
3.
image,
Yeah.
2 images is a whole different price than 3 images.
So I have a suggestion here. So you guys commit to 1, 2, or 3 images, whether that's 1, whether that's 2. And then if there's images that the business would
They could
would
buy
like to
additional ones,
have,
yeah.
then maybe they find a way in their budget to purchase that photo, or
Yeah,
something
definitely.
gets held back to
Mhm.
your next fiscal year, and those can stay available to the city or the businesses for whenever you need them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we give the business the option to buy their own.
I like what she's saying too, and then when our budget comes up again, and we're like, oh, we have a little bit of money, she's like, I already shot these photos, we can
Right.
go back and pick for them.
Exactly.
That's
and that's,
cool.
I think if you put that in your specifications of either or, because like they run a per image, whereas I run a per hour. So every image I take, as long as it's not blurry or ugly, you're gonna get it. Does that make sense? And that's how I run with Jason, so that's kind of a proposal thing, I think, rather than you guys are laying down a law of how many images you want, unless you want me to, I don't know, I could retract that, but that makes no sense for.
Well, I think it gives you a guidance of, so you can base that off of like, I know if I have to deliver 2 images times 170, I know it's gonna take me this many hours, so this is what my hourly rate would be to be able to fulfill that request.
Right. Because you could take 10, but we only really need 2, so we don't wanna pay hourly for 10, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it helps kind of shape your.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is there gonna be any desire or requirement for any kind of aerial drone photography or video footage?
Maybe.
I mean, that would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
That might lay in the event photos.
Right, that's what I was thinking too.
Right.
That would make sense in the event side.
Okay.
we do have that available, as of,
You'll be available for that in June,
yeah,
correct?
yeah, or
maybe sooner.
maybe sooner.
Maybe sooner,
Yeah.
okay.
I have a question. If we approve this budget, and then we select a photographer to use, are we limiting ourselves to that budget can only be spent with that photographer, or are we willing to, have, like, for example, there's somebody in town who does the drone shots. Can we buy 1 image from him in the same budget, or, do you know what I'm saying? Or, like, are we limited to, are we agreeing to spend the budget only specifically with who is
When you
selected?
do a bid, you're exclusive to the bid winner
Yes,
Mhm.
but if we, okay, but if we
for
are,
the photography in general.
And that, if that includes drone photography, then that would include it. If you guys wanted to leave that aside and just sign the contract that just says, like, if you were to sign a contract that would just be for photography and no aerial photography, you would be free to get that from whoever you wanted, including asking us if we wanted to include that later on in the year.
okay,
Or,
Yeah, it depends on what's in the bid contract.
yeah, and what the, like, what the attorney says too. Okay, 'cause like, sometimes, especially with social media, there's photos that happen, like, naturally, not for us, and then we want to be able to use those with their permission and such. Are we limited to only this photographer that we're contracting with? Like, do you know what I'm
Or the
saying? Can we
things we're
repost
asking
a
for.
wedding photo or not? Because now we have a contract.
It's what we're asking for. If we're asking for those 2 or 3 pictures from every business and pictures of events, then yes, I would think we're limited to using only them for those things that we're asking for.
Okay,
But
whatever's
that-
in the scope of the bid.
Right.
Okay.
I would say though, when we're going to post on social media, so does that mean I feel like I'm kind of going off of.
I see what she's asking.
There's a lot of photographers in Kingsburg who I would love to still promote, in Kingsburg, but they're not on our project, but they have a business license or whatnot. Can we not post there?
And
I
our
think
social media feeds?
Yeah.
Oh, we can.
Yeah, because we're asking for
Those
this
are
for the
our social
website.
media feeds.
These are photos
We're
for our
hiring
website.
them, we're hiring them to provide photos for our webpage and that we could possibly use that Vice could possibly use into our social media as, so they're like,
They're just exclusive to the webpage.
Right.
If you want to take a photo of somebody walking downtown and put it on social media, that's not included.
a cutie
in it.
patootie comes in and buys a great
Yeah.
big stuff
It's
and.
not that part, it's the
It's what,
professional photographer.
it's what shows up on the website.
I just didn't want it to, okay, gotcha.
Not
All
necessarily.
web photography will be exclusive to whomever we do the contract with.
Mhm.
Okay,
And
thanks for that.
piggybacking off of that too, the rights to the photo, and any type of mention of the business, that is all yours.
Okay.
So when we take the photo, we give you the photo, we're not requiring you at any time to mention that we are the ones that took the photo, and all the rights of the photos are yours to do whatever it is you want.
Okay.
We only retain the right to be able to utilize any of these photos in our marketing when we're trying to market, on social media
Yes.
or for other businesses.
So we're not charging a licensing fee?
Right,
That's
exactly.
right.
If we wanna go
Right.
back and use it on a billboard in a year, we don't have to pay additional license.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Do you guys watermark them
We would not in this case.
in that case? Okay.
Yes.
Watermarking has become a controversial thing.
I agree.
You can also digitally watermark if you guys are gonna use them on social media, so you can't actually see it on the image. But
Okay.
if someone screenshots it, it'll follow through.
All right, I think, does that make sense, Abby?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the motion then.
Okay, I got the motion down.
Really, good job.
Please, somebody
It's 4
second
pages
it.
long.
I'll second the motion.
Can we read the motion before we?
Okay, the motion is to set aside $15,000 for a photography service, build it based on our needs, and have Ally Case, Image Masters, and Elijah Tauscher resubmit on our photography needs pending and I'm gonna clean this up, pending approval from the city attorney. We have 6 events, 5 to 8 photos each, 2 to 3 photos per business.
I second the motion.
Is the deadline being decided later?
Probably once I talk to the attorney, and then I could email, if it's good to go, I will email the 3 businesses and let them know.
Can we include in there, like, work to be delivered within such and such amount of days from signed contract? Like, we don't want it to be like, not that you, but, 45 days out and we have no photos, like, we need probably some expectation of turnaround time. And I know you guys both put that in here, I feel like, and the first one too, I saw like a turnaround.
How soon does the 5 need the photos? How soon do we get them to them?
I
Probably
think they had a March first.
Yeah, their timeline is, they wanna go live by March 1st.
is March 1st, well.
Have I sent them a list?
Well, that won't work because we're
Send them
February.
businesses?
I got an email asking for my information from them.
Okay, good.
So
Maybe
he asked me
I don't
to,
remember
He sent us
last
all,
month,
the
so.
3 of us, an email asking for a list of businesses. Did he get that?
I don't think it was sent to me.
Okay.
So do we want to say April 1st then, amend the motion to say with a deadline to deliver by
Yeah,
April
'cause
1st?
we won't be able to
With
vote
the
on it
exception
till
of
next-
events.
And then basically in a month from now, we'll vote on who we're doing, who we're selecting, and then they have a month to get.
I think we probably, well, no, because this is the proposal return.
Right.
We need to set a deadline for the proposal return and
That's
the,
really not a lot
Oh,
of time.
the proposal return deadline would be the end of this month in order to make the minutes or the agenda for the following month.
so that would give them a month to take all those photos and edit them?
Not
That's
enough
pretty
time,
fast.
I'll be honest with
Okay.
you, that's crunching it hard.
So
Yeah,
what,
that's-
what's your
that's-
timeline looking like? 6 weeks?
try to have another.
It's really the business needs, how long we're
What
gonna
if
be
there's
out for
a
each business, but, our
administrative
turnaround time is
hearing for
fairly
code
quick. So I would say that
16 at 8
6 weeks
a.m.
is reasonable.
So we could do it after that, or we could do it a different day, but, I'm booked for the 16th in the morning.
I'd say 6 to 8, honestly, just because of
It's a lot of photos.
the way that the
Okay.
business owners work, and the type of businesses
And
we're
we can
working
help
with.
to, facilitate shoot dates.
And that's not, that's,
We wouldn't
that's
just be
not
like,
a
good,
turnaround.
figure it out, we can help to.
Yeah, no, that's fine, but that's not a turnaround time, I'm saying from like shoot to receiving.
Right, exactly.
Because that's the amount of days that we're gonna need to shoot, I just
Yeah, I
wanna
don't think
know
it definitely
it's not
has to
gonna
be
coordinate
promotion.
up on like 3
No,
days,
it
it's
doesn't.
gonna be.
Right,
Okay.
What would be easiest if you just submitted us to
Yeah, just do it direct.
and we
Are you
would contact the businesses,
are you
we would
available
set up
on
a schedule with them,
Are you available on the
at 8
seventeenth?
a.m.
For them, and that fits
At
in our
8.
schedule.
Okay, and so that's still 6
Okay,
days.
so I
Do
think,
I have to make a motion?
That would
to
still
have it in a
probably be
meeting?
6 to 8 weeks. No, for us, it would be
Okay.
6 weeks.
but that's when we want them to submit their new proposal.
Okay,
So it would
So-
have to be, I have to post it 3 days beforehand, so it'd have to be the Friday before that, February 11th.
everyone.
The deadline.
Okay, so
Yes.
can the board meet on the 17th?
A special meeting?
Special meeting on the 17th
At 8 a.m.
at 8 a.m.
Okay.
It's a Thursday.
to Thursday.
So can we amend the motion to include delivery within 6 to 8 weeks?
I don't know if we need to put it in the
I don't think
motion,
we
we
do.
could give direction for it. You want it in the motion?
I'm just saying, I've been in a situation where I paid somebody for something with an expected timeline of return, and it's past timeline, and past timeline, and past timeline.
So
So
say
not necessarily in photography, but I think you have to give a due date.
Okay.
Yeah, so 6 to 8 weeks from execution of contract.
Yeah, from signing contract.
That happens a lot more often with.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but there's been vendors that,
No,
they
you see it on
just,
all the time.
service-based businesses that doesn't get done in that timeline.
Okay, so the motion's been amended, set aside $15,000 for a photography service based around the BID's needs. Contact with those 3 businesses, resubmit their proposal by February 11th, pending city attorney approval. 6 events, 5 to 8 photos of each event, 2 to 3 photos per business, and the photos will be delivered 6 to 8 weeks from execution of the agreement.
Okay, thank you for finishing.
I will second that.
No,
Or
you
I
first
need it.
it.
You can.
Yeah, it's okay, it's just in the,
I'm thinking out loud,
Yeah.
sorry.
So, and, okay, so we're gonna vote. All in favor? Aye. Any against? Hearing none, motion is passed.
Thank you for bearing with us.
Yes. We might go round and around, but we get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay, so special meeting on the 17th, 8 a.m. Abigail is gonna send out information to the 3, ask them to resubmit with a little bit clearer information. We appreciate you guys bearing with us. And then at that point, we'll figure out what we're gonna do for sure, right? We're gonna take absolute action. Okay.
Assuming the bids fit the budget, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, moving on to item number 5. Draper Street alleyway discussion.
I say we table that.
Table.
That's Steve's.
That's Steve's, we'll table from Mr. Savarden. Moving on to item number 6, reports from board members. Anyone?
I have one report, to add to the minutes of this meeting, that our very own Ms. Leslie Carpenter was Citizen of the Year last year, so.
Yay,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you. Okay. Any other business? Item number 7, any other items? Yeah, no? Well, I guess I could pop in Christmas trees here. So I met with, a company that actually makes the trees in the United States, and they're very reasonable. They're 9 months out from having the property to make those trees.
Okay.
They are pre-wired, guaranteed for 7 years, the lights are guaranteed for 7 years. And multicolored function, remote, yeah, the whole shebang. We can do clear or multicolored. I also, when I was at Gift Show in Dallas, I ordered all of the netting for us, and I'll work on more lights, because that company, the Christmas tree company, does lights individually as well. So I'm on that, and like we talked earlier, between $5,000 and $1,000, Berman's will just sell it to you guys what we paid for it, plus shipping, okay? So whatever it costs, we'll help that out. The only other thing is, I had a business come to me and ask me about signage just to put a little nugget in your ears for the money that we're gonna have to find, signage in the flower beds that say, you know, chiropractor's done this way, bank's done that way. I know that just putting a little bug in your ear, I'm sure it's come up a million times before. We'll probably have to go city planning and a few other things.
It's like Wayfinder?
Yeah, it's, if it's, and that goes back to like this money is, you know, all these businesses are paying, so it has to be equitable how you guys spend it.
Mm-hmm.
It might be the businesses that we've spoke to before where it's, they could definitely put it in there, they have to pay for the sign themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, just like For the Birds put up a sign, not For the Birds, Village Mall,
Uh-huh.
with their wayfinding sign out front showing what businesses are there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll take that back to them.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, any other business?
I think we're gonna kind of, with that too, down the road, we talked about like a directory and all that, so that kind of,
Yeah, that would be an
The directory helps
equitable
with
way
everybody.
to,
yeah.
yeah.
Ron at 5 and I talked about that a little bit further too.
We just need a new one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, any other business? Are we ready to adjourn?
Oh, I did, sorry,
No, too late.
we have not been posting on social media, because I know a few, meetings past, we kind of, discussed that we weren't gonna be doing that anymore, but there has been no posting. So I don't know if we all wanna agree that we start posting again, only because we're not going to work on our following, you know? So I didn't know what everyone's thought about that.
I would love it if you did it.
Keep posting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
really good.
I love
Yeah.
it.
No,
Okay,
you
that's
guys are
what
doing
I
great.
thought too, but I know a few meetings back, we talked about after.
Yeah,
we
because
signed
well, we
up.
thought 5 would be.
The motion says social media and website, but we did
Yeah.
not hire them to do social media. We
No,
only hired them to do website.
We haven't really, and they're not really, I'm talking him into that part of this thing, so.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
whole nother bid, like,
Yeah.
it's a completely different
Mhm.
project. But at the same time, I agree with you, at the meeting, it kind of was like, thank you guys, we're gonna go with a professional. So I felt like we were kind of, like, dismissed from the job of social media, so
Oh,
I
no,
guess
no, no,
it's
no,
kind of
sorry if that
fair.
was the feeling, no.
You
But I
guys
mean,
did
I
a
wanted
great
you guys to
job.
be.
Back on.
I
Because
wanted
even
you-
in the
I feel
minutes,
bad
like,
that you
it
guys are
says that,
doing it.
so I wasn't
Oh,
making
No,
it
no,
up.
no, I felt bad you guys were doing it, because I don't have time to do that. Berman's was like crazy here, and then you don't see her for like 4 or 5
Oh,
days,
yeah.
you know, so, no,
Yeah.
not at all.
No, we just make the time and
Yeah, we
between us
volunteered to
two,
do
we
it.
kind of figure out how to keep
Something.
reposting people. I think
It
that
flows
was
very
You're doing a
naturally,
great
too.
job,
Yeah.
and White Willie appreciates it.
awesome.
No problem.
Okay, cool. We'll continue,
Yay.
back on to posting then.
Okay.
So, in the same way that we were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other business? Thank you for your patience. Again, thank you, Alex, thank you guys.
I think you guys